O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show. This
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
There's just one place to celebrate our happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Plus last chance savings on a 2024 RDX. $379 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla, not $24,000, $20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome aboard to the show. It is Friday, October 4th, 2024. And, of course, the platform and the show mastered by the one and only Sean Stanley. We are here. We are ready to go. And we got some stuff to talk about today as we get ready for the weekend. We got the Canes taking on Cal at 10:30. And yes, my crazy ass will do a post-game show at 1:30 in the morning. And then come back in the morning and do a pregame show for the Dolphins and the Patriots. And then come back and do the post-game show. So I hope it's a happy post-game show. I know the Canes one's going to be happy. We're going to have a happy post-game show because there's no way I'm staying up till like 2:30 in the morning, and we're going to have a unhappy Canes post-game show. No, Mario is going to come through. Mario has corrected his issues. The other guy hasn't. So we'll see if a jabroni can beat you. You know what I'm saying? But we'll be here for both. I know Inter Miami also plays, but whatever. They got 2 games left, and I think it's like weird, right? Isn't it like they have, I think I wrote it down last week or something. Let me go back to my notes. Yeah, they just played Columbus, and then they play Toronto on Saturday, and then they don't play again till the 19th against New England. Did you know that, Sean? That after they play on Saturday, they don't play the final game, and it's at home against New England October 19th. So tomorrow's the 5th. They will have 2 weeks off before they play their last game, which doesn't mean anything. Messi and the boys won't play tomorrow, which they better not. If I see Messi on the pitch tomorrow, I'm going over personally, okay? I will be in Toronto to put my foot up, the coach's ass. So if Tata doesn't want my foot up his ass, Messi better not play tomorrow. So I would imagine people in Toronto must be pissed if they bought tickets. But then they don't play for 2 weeks. So, the beauty of winning against Columbus is you're going to get a lot of rest now before the playoffs. And remember, Michelle Kaufman reported, back that Messi wasn't yet, like about 5 days ago, 6 days ago, she reported that Messi wasn't 100% yet. So, and that gives him more time. He's not 100%, but he scored 2 goals this Wednesday, not being 100%, which is beautiful. Anyway, so we got some stuff to talk about. We got some important games. Obviously, the Canes have got to keep it going, and then the Dolphins, well, we'll see if they can win a game here, make life a little easier when Tua gets back to see if it's something manageable. You know what I'm saying? So we've got some stuff for the weekend, and then we've got things that have gone on so far this week. We had press conferences yesterday. We had players addressing certain situations. It's just, it would be nice, if Tyreek is going to talk about what he was yelling about. Yeah, be honest about it, OBJ addressing, his situation. Yeah, maybe be a little bit more straight about it, But hey, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. And by the way, props to Omar Kelly. Very nice. It's about time somebody started speaking up about Tyreek. Because he talks all this about, the way they brought me up and on leadership. Bro, you ain't even close to being a leader. You're not even, you don't even know what the definition is of being, and props. I mean, because it seems like I'm the only guy in the media that's willing to like call shit like what it is, dude. With the guy. I know that he gets a lot of yards and all that stuff, but there's a lot of reasons why he's also not the guy, and so I'm glad that there was somebody in the media that had some balls to call it out, dude, so nice job by Omar. I read that, and that was good. That was good. And nice to see somebody else, say something, because it's too much of there's the problem in our business is there's too much buddy. There's too much you worry about, access, or if I say something about this player, then that agent won't call me back anymore, or this and that. And it's just, there's too much of that, and it takes away from doing actually your job and calling shit like how it is. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that somebody else has the balls to call him out, dude, because he deserves to be called out. That's just the facts, man. Anyway, so as always, remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And we have a QR code right there. The man right there. There he is. Sean Stanley posting the QR code for Cash App or Venmo. There's Venmo, and we have a Cash App one. That's Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And Ray Martinez, thank you, sir, for the love. Sends us some Bitcoin. Love it. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Happy Friday. Go Fins. Nice dip. Happy with the pump. Yeah, it is, because we got like a minor pump, and we'll get to the Crypto Bro Show in a minute. Of course, R&M Contractors, Ray Martinez, is the sponsor of the Crypto Bro Show. And we did get a pump in Bitcoin right now after the jobs report. But we'll get a little bit more into that, but we're at 61.5. We got all the way to like, was it 61.8? But now we're at 61.5. It went down a little bit, but it's up about $1,000 from where it was yesterday. So, and Crypto Bro Show is coming. And remember, every day now we have a Crypto Bro Show. Now it's done within our show. Yesterday we did 3 hours of talk, and how long was it yesterday? Like 20 minutes, right? I want to say the Crypto Bro Show. So 2 hours and 20 minutes of sports talk, and then 2 hours and 40 minutes of sports talk, and 20 minutes I did a Crypto Bro Show somewhere in the show. When is it scheduled in the show? It's not. I could do it early in the show. I could do it in the middle of the show. I could do it at the end of the show. You know the rules on this show. There's only one person that makes the rules. Actually, two. And, that's just kind of the way it is. We do when we want to do things. You know what I mean? It's just one of those deals. We have that freedom. So, but Sean Stanley individually posts each episode. We've got 2 episodes up. Today will be episode 3, and we got a really good one. We'll keep working at it and keep getting it better and better. And so you guys wanted a Crypto Bro Show. I got it for you, okay? I wasn't going to do it during the 6 months of downtime, and I got to walk you off the ledge all the time. Hell, I'm still kind of walking you off the ledge here early on here in October, but it's just about to start. So I know we're running now, so we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. So thank you, Ray Martinez. Thank you for a little Bitcoin love, which is a beautiful thing. So as always, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, and we will have a Crypto Bro Show for you. And check it out. Check out the first 2. Please support it. Please hit the like button on the Crypto Bro Show. Please watch it. Support. We need support. Give us views on the Crypto Bro Show. Let's make it move and help us grow. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe we can educate some folks out there and get them going. Get them to understand. They're better off. You know what I'm saying? All right. What else do we have going on? David Furones will be joining us at 10:30. So we'll have some fun. Yesterday I went to Subway's. So remember I told you I had a Chick-fil-A that I have the sandwich with the lettuce and the tomatoes, no bread, right? That's all I had. And then I was hungry early in the evening. And, we had the game last night, and I said, you know what, let me go to Subway a second to go get a 6-inch sub. And I went to go get a turkey. And timing is of the essence. That's all I can say. right? So just this is the shit that goes on in fast food and all that. And Subways, you're going to get called out here on this shit. So I walk in, right? And I ordered, my wife never does this. Never. I mean, never. Okay? Because she's kind of like a germaphobe. So she'll never order something to pick up. I'm an idiot. I do that all the time. So yesterday I learned my lesson on why I really should not order to pick up. Because you just don't know. So if you can watch somebody actually prepare your food, you might be better off because you might catch something you wouldn't have if you were there, if you weren't there, right? So on my Subway app, I don't really have a good Subway sub shop close to my house, unfortunately. So sometimes when I have to settle for Subways. But whatever. So I put it on the app, okay? I take off, I go, figure it's going to be ready now because the app says it's ready. I walk in and my sub's not ready yet. But I'm all right, whatever. I see the woman's there, and then I see a guy, and I see a couple, and then there's another people that are sitting down eating, right? So I figure, okay, she's a little overworked. She's one person. All right, whatever. So when I walk in, she's on the register finishing up with the customer. She has her gloves on. So then I said, okay, I'm figure, all right, she's going to finish. She's going to take off her gloves, then go get some new gloves before she starts to work with the food again, right? And I hear the microwave beep, 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 and that's because it was toasting a sub. Guess whose sub it was toasting? So she toasts the sub, and then she pulls it out. She has her gloves still on, the same gloves. And she puts the sub down, right? She hadn't touched my sub yet. So before she's about to touch a sub or anything, I go to her, excuse me, you're about to work with food and you have your gloves on that you've been working on the register. And then she looks at me like, hey, ¿qué? Like she does, no habla inglés. ¿Tú me entiendes? Tengo que hablar con ella en español. But the problem is, I don't even have to then translate. So the guy that is in line is about to translate, right? But she then picks up on my body language and everything that I point at her like, yo, you got the same gloves on. What kind of disgusting shit is that? You know what I'm saying? So, oh yeah. And so she takes them off. She goes to wash her hands and then puts on new gloves. So, by the way, the guy that was in line looks at me, gives me like a little bit of a nod, and I go, timing is of the essence. And he goes, yeah. And then he walks over, gives me a fist pump and says, big fan of the show. I listen all the time. So whoever you are, sir, I guess I didn't ask your name, or you didn't tell me your name, or if you did, I'd maybe in the middle of the thing, I forgot, whatever. Thank you for the love and thank you for the support on the show. Appreciate that. That is very kind of you. It's funny. Just, and this is a lesson that I now have learned because my wife is 10 times smarter than I am. And I'm an idiot, right? I would be lost without the freaking woman, obviously, because I'm a moron. I eat hot dogs off of Dairy Queen in the Panhandle. That's all you need to know. Anyway, so lesson learned. You know what? I'm not ordering any more food for pickup. If I'm ordering from Chipotle or Subways or whatever, you know what? I'll order when I get there. I'll order when I get there so I can watch you make it because, and I don't know if anybody was going to tell her, by the way, because sometimes, people are afraid to speak up, which why would you be afraid to speak up? You're handling my fucking food, bro. It's no. And so lesson learned. We talk about life here. We talk about love. We talk about crypto. We talk about sports and politics and music and entertainment. And we share it all, man. Because in life, you gotta, you experience it all. And it's kind of the way it goes. But just so you'll know, don't order to pick up, man. That's not a good move. That is not a good move. Peter German, thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can send a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation like my man Ray did. Big O, didn't you know the gloves are not for food safety? It's to keep their hands from getting dirty. So true, brother. So true, man. So true. I mean, it was just like, you're just really going to go? And then she goes, oh, I forgot. Yeah, of course. You forgot to actually be clean. You forgot that your number one priority is to be clean when you're handling our food, And on top of all of that, we're all paying for overpriced, stretched out food because part of our inflation is not just because they print the money. It's because all of these companies are jacking up prices and never bringing them down. And they are making way more money than they used to. And they're, they tell you they're paying a ton out, but they're not paying as much as they say. They're making hand over fist, bro. Hand over fist. So, and guess who gets who gets screwed? You, me, all of us, in every way, shape, and form. So, just crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. Anyway, what do we got here? Steve Chapman, I see, is number one in the house. Oh, getting Tua back won't be the magic bullet. Never said it. Never said that. He still has to fight through McDaniel's stupid. Well, obviously, that's why I said McDaniel puts every quarterback he's had in an disadvantage, including Tua, because when you have chosen and what was the guy's name? Bowser. There you go. You put it. Stupid decisions, throwing like DuBose and chosen. Right, exactly. Of course. Yeah. Stupid decisions like you wanted a tight end. They signed a tight end. We watched in training camp and in practice, used Jonnu everywhere. Here comes the season and you don't use him. There's all kinds of stupid decisions. Mike McDaniel is the main problem on this team. It's the main problem. That's what's going to burn the front office. That's what's going to burn the fan base. That's what's going to burn the owner. That's what's going to burn everybody. That's what burns Tua. You realize now that Tua had success in spite of Flo. Tua has success in spite of Mike McDaniel. The only thing Mike McDaniel is good for is blowing confidence up your ass. That's it. Mike McDaniel is good for blowing confidence up your ass. Outside of that, he's really not going to make you a better player. You're on your own, dude. You either get it done on your own or you're SOL. And I'm not talking about Solana, okay? That's crypto talk. We'll leave that for the Crypto Bro Show. I'm talking about shit out of luck. So, yeah, dude, I know, Steve. I've been talking about Mike McDaniel since last year. Since last year, he was already on double secret probation on this show. Everybody knows that. Plenty of Dolphin fans were like, you're already like that on the guy? Yeah, because I already see incompetence. I know what incompetence looks like. I'm a Dolphins fan. I know. I can spot incompetence a mile away. I've seen it over and over and over and over again. It's the opposite of everything I saw from Shula. That's the worst part. You want to coach the Heat, you got to follow Riley and Spo. You're fucked. You're fucked. I don't know who's following Spo, but you're fucked. That's all. Because I don't know. You're going to hit on the next guy too? I mean, that's going to be pretty hard. So I saw Shula. And then no one comes close. So I know what exceptional is. Like he taught me what exceptional is. And now in basketball, after Arison took over, Riley and Spo have taught me what exceptional is. So now I know the standard. I'm a Canes fan. Dude, I saw Howard Schnellenberger. You know, Dennis Erickson wasn't the best custodian, but he could coach if you gave him the talent. Now, he couldn't maintain it because he's not a good custodian. Jimmy Johnson, you know, I watch people actually like have like elite success. So now I know what that is like. So whoever follows, well, I know Shannon or Golden or whatever, you're not the guys. You know what I'm saying? And this is the problem here with the Dolphins. I know exactly what incompetence looks like. And Mike McDaniel is incompetent as hell. Sorry. I've lived it. I've experienced it. I know what excellence looks like up close, in personal, seen it. I even covered it. So you're screwed trying to explain it to me. I know what it looks like. And Mike McDaniel doesn't resemble anything that comes close to excellence and comes to perfection and comes to commitment and comes to preparation and comes to knowing how to counter and knowing how to outsmart the opponent and all that shit. The problem with Mike McDaniel is that he pauses. He pauses in his speeches. Let me think. Give me another couple ums and ums. A couple ums and ums, and then I'll think about what I got to say. Okay, now I got it. And so on the field, his ums and ums last for a fucking year. We witnessed it. That's how he counters. He doesn't counter a series later, a quarter later, a half later. No. Brandon Staley, who can't be in the league, he has to counter Brandon Staley a year later. He needs a year. On the field, his ums last for a year. So think about it. We're not tortured that much in the press conferences. You think we are, but we're really not. His ums or ums only last a couple seconds. But on the field, we're tortured because his ums, what are they doing? Oh, shit. All right, give me a year. I'll be back. I'll have an answer for that next year. He's the guy that says, hey, let me just keep throwing screens. You figured it out? Have you? Really? Just keep doing it. So I know, Steve. I know what the problem is, dude. I mean, you know, and that's where, as much as I love the front office, I think if you had a real coach, we wouldn't really, you know, the defects that you see maybe would not look the same, and maybe they would look just fine, and they would be 3-1 or 2-2, and we wouldn't be really complaining so much about everything else overall. You know, obviously the Tua messes, that's up to the kid. It's up to him. But he's the problem, dude. He's a disaster. That's just the way it is, man. He's just a disaster. Ocala Joe, morning. Oh, have a good day and keep buying Bitcoin and Solana. Looking forward to the Crypto Bro Show. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Big O, I'm laughing because I just went through this at Culver's. There you go. Right? I mean, you know, and you got to call their asses out, bro. Greetings from Norristown, Pennsylvania. Dave Fields says, our Dolphins are going up Schitt's Creek with their mouth wide open. We need a real coach who can maximize his talent, and they don't have that. And that's what's going to backfire on the front office, because the flow thing didn't work out, and now they hired their second coach, and they have to do whatever they can to fix him. Okay, I don't have any insight here on this or anything, okay? But how he came out in the press conference post-game and said everything's on the table and all that kind of stuff, and all, I kind of have a feeling that the people above him said something to him. So I'm going to be interested to see what happens against the Patriots. Because if it's the same old, I mean, this man basically thought he could run kind of the same offense with Tyler Huntley. And, come on, dude. These are things, square peg and round holes don't work. And that's where I know excellence. Shula wasn't going to make David Woodley try to play like Dan Marino or Bob Greasy. No. He could tell Don Strock to do those things because Don Strock was like a real quarterback. David Woodley was an athlete playing quarterback. We had those back then too, by the way. Don't think that, we had a few of those guys back in the day. I mean, come on, man. It's just the things that this guy does just makes no sense. And there are way too many examples where he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and it makes him look like the dumbest mofo on the block. Okay? You're not the smartest guy in the room. You're the dumbest guy on the block. Might be a little worse. Let's see. Mountain Man says, Big O, don't forget adversity equals opportunity. F that. I want to see results. Good luck, because I don't have a lot of hope that you're going to see a lot of change with him, to be quite honest. So, rather have Flo's defense. The defense hasn't been the problem, Rosendo. The defense has they're the number one rated defense on third down conversions in the NFL. The defense hasn't been the problem. If you actually had an offense that could play and score and give you a lead, the defense would be even better. And that's a defense that has not played together a lot and now has also suffered injuries. Defense has not been they're not the reason why you've had this problem, actually, when it's all said and done. So if we're going to talk about problems, you know what I mean? Let's talk about the real problems. So it's really all about the offense not doing the offense hasn't been doing their part for a while now, since last year, in the second half of the season. The offense has been kind of figured out. So that's the real problem right now. And if an offense that scores, you're going to need a generational defense to get through the season. Not just a regular defense that Miami has. No, you need a generational defense. Now you're asking them to do too much. And that's not how they're built. So, let's stay on topic. Let's approach it with common sense, because bitching and complaining about the defense makes zero sense right now. Okay? It has everything to do with the coach, the offense, and the starting quarterback being stupid. Okay, let's be honest now. Tua, I love Tua, but you can't make stupid decisions anymore. And he's constantly making stupid decisions. He stayed 1 year. Tua's a lot like me. I lose the weight, right? And then I get cocky, and then I gain it all back again. Tua was like, oh, okay, I'll play smart for 1 year, got cocky, and now paid the price. That's what happens. All right, let's get to it. Let's talk a little Dolphins football with our Welt and Rheum Miami Dolphins report with the one and only David Furones.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rheum Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Rheum has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. And please call Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheum. These guys are absolute bulldogs. They are the ultimate tackles. And remember, the laws that were passed recently by DeSantis favor the insurance companies, not us. You're seeing what's happening to condos all across the state. They are in a real terrible issue because of that whole deposit stuff. And now the insurance companies, they are dropping people left and right. They have more freedom than ever to drop you and not even accept you. So make sure you have the proper lawyers. You saw the CBS report that they were ripping people off. So make sure, call 954-966-4646 for Welt and Rheum. They've helped many of our listeners already. It's been great. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning. Yeah, just getting ready for a Friday of coverage here, and then traveling to Boston tomorrow for Dolphins Patriots.
So just out of curiosity, because I didn't see like in the press conferences anything about this, what did you find odd at all about the Jalen Phillips situation?
What did I find odd about well, part of it, just the
what was wrong in it? Was there anything wrong in it?
Well, I mean, frankly, what happened was friendly fire, Jordan Poyer not taking a great angle at a ball carrier, Tony Pollard for the Titans. He crashes into Jalen Phillips's right knee. Shoulder pad makes contact with the knee, and then what we're told is that's when the ACL injury partial tear occurred, which was the contact portion of it.
You sure?
That's what we're told. That's
how do they know that? How do they know that? Did they take him for an X-ray at that moment? Or did they put a brace back on and put him back out?
They don't have an MRI available or anything at the actual game, of course. But that's where, and this is, I'm sure, after they've run through tests and watched the videos and determined it. But what doctors have told the Dolphins. Huh?
Let's spitball here, because I slept at a Holiday Inn last night.
Okay, so
yeah, I told.
Now you're able to circumvent the doctors.
I told the wife, fuck it, I need to prepare for the show tomorrow. I'm sleeping at a Holiday Inn. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have points there, or it was all on your dime?
It was on my dime. I'm that focused for the show, so I slept at a Holiday Inn.
All right.
Okay. So he bangs his knee on the back of the shoulder pads, not the shoulder pad, not the helmet that everybody kept repeating. Helmet. And nobody watches the video and actually looks at the video that it was never Jordan Poyer's helmet, because that's when he would have busted his knee. It was the back of the shoulder pads. Okay. So they put a brace on an injury-prone player who repaired the Achilles in the same leg where the knee is right now, having an issue, and he went to go play. And then he had another episode where he, all of a sudden, was really pissed. Something tells me you might have banged your knee the first go around, and then you tore it the second go around. It may be because of the brace. It might have saved you from a complete tear. But see, here's the problem. They can't prove one or the other. There's no way of them showing us before, because they never took an X-ray. They never took an MRI. They don't know what was going on in that ligament exactly. And all you're seeing is a player in the middle of adrenaline, but you're also seeing an injury-prone player in the middle of adrenaline, and you should have made a better decision and said, Jalen, I'm sorry, we need you. As intoxicating as it might be that we need you, you need to sit down because of who you are and the history that you have. You put a knee pad on a guy who has a history of injury. You don't know what's going on in that knee, but you're just going to put him out there, and now you've got a partial tear. And guess what? You can't prove either one, but I can prove one thing. You're fucking incompetent. I mean, you're fucking incompetent. That's what I can prove, that the Miami Dolphins training staff and coaching staff is incompetent in that situation, because you're talking about an injury-prone player who already has to be you're going to send them back out on a brace to compensate for an injury that already is coming back from another major injury. Please, David, tell me that this makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be a doctor myself, and I also did not stay at a Holiday Inn last night to be able to speak over doctors.
But I gave you the problem. I gave you the problem.
And I do see it myself too. I've had these same thoughts, questions in my mind. Mike McDaniel and what he gave us wanted to make it clear. It wasn't like we pushed it on him. He wanted to put it out there that it was part of the contact injury, which also could be telling in the other direction too. But wanted to make it clear that it was the contact part that did the damage, that the damage was already done, and then off adrenaline, he was trying to play with the brace on. The brace didn't support sufficiently enough, and then that's when now at some point he still did feel something when he goes to cut off that push off. And then that's when he starts hopping on the other leg to avoid pressure on the right one, and he starts limping again. So, sure, I mean, yes, something had to happen there in that instance to ultimately make it.
It could have been a strain. It could have been a strain before it was a tear. And you could have rested him and not use him for the rest of that game, give him a week off or two, let the knee rest, and you might have avoided a tear. The problem is now you got to bullshit us about something you don't even have the facts. So the problem is you can't prove what you're saying. And what you're saying could be an absolute lie. And that is the truth, that what you could be saying is a lie, because you can't prove the truth, Miami Dolphins training staff, coaching staff. You can't prove it. You cannot prove it. You are assuming. And let me tell you, this is what adds icing to the cake. So a guy that is coming back from a torn Achilles in the same leg, you kind of assume there was a tear, so you're going to send them back out there with a brace to completely tear it? I mean, where is the logic in any of this? Please tell me, where is the logic, bro?
Yeah, that part would also feel pretty damning too, if then they have knowledge, or at least enough of an indication that it was probably already, the damage was already done there. Then
does it matter?
You shouldn't be sending them out there.
You don't have knowledge. Does it matter? It's incompetence. Either way, it's incompetence. Either way, it's incompetence. If you knew he had a tear, you put a brace and send him back out there. If you don't know he has a tear, you didn't keep him out. Which one is it, bro? You were stupid in which form, which fashion? This is the part I don't understand, and I feel like I'm the only guy talking about this. Nobody's writing about this. Nobody's challenging them that way. This is what needs to be challenged. And now they're in a corner because they can't prove any of this. They can't prove any of this.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to know what proof there is, if any, and either way, like you said, it doesn't absolve them entirely in either direction, because one way or another there was some misstep in the handling of this.
With Teron Armstead, he farts the wrong way. You hold him out. So why didn't you do it with an injury-prone player like Jalen Phillips? You just signed him to the
option. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, bro, protect yourself. Now he's gone for the rest of the season. you might have saved this season. You might have had him fresh for next year. Now, here's the same leg now coming back from another injury, which doesn't allow him to strengthen the other one.
Yeah, it's tough. But I mean, first and foremost, I think, let's sympathize with Jalen Phillips for what he is going through, because I mean, great guy, and then he has one Achilles tear, has one season end prematurely, and then it just happens again. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just pretty tragic for one of the better dudes in the NFL.
Oh no, dude, that's a completely different subject.
Oh yeah.
That's a completely different subject. I feel badly for Jalen. He's a lovable character, bro. That you root for people like this. You want him on your team. He is a character person. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing but love for the guy. I'm talking about the adults in the room. The adults were not the adults in the room, dude. They have a responsibility. And in this case, it was so mishandled that you have to protect the player from himself, dude. Okay? And in this moment, they failed to protect the player, to protect the team, to protect the contract. They failed in every way possible because there was no excuse one way or the other to continue with him playing, because you didn't know where that injury was. And for you to be that stupid to put a brace and send an injury-prone player back out there with a leg that was already recovering from a major surgery, you don't know what common sense is, bro. I really don't.
And I'll tell you what, if they're placing everything on the contact that he felt in saying, hey, none of it was that move that he tried to make on that knee, then you are placing a lot of blame on Jordan Poyer. Also, you're asking him to carry a lot of blame and guilt for this. So,
by the way, was there any contact when he tore his Achilles?
No.
Okay. So, like I said, you can't prove shit. You can't tell me. But you know what I can prove coming from a Holiday Inn? I saw Jalen Phillips after the first injury, and then I saw him in the second one. And I saw a guy that couldn't walk. But before, I saw a guy that could walk and could run and all that. So maybe it was just strained. It was just pulled. It wasn't torn. But on that second go around, that's when I saw a guy with a torn ligament. Okay? Because if you have a torn ligament, you don't go right back in, bro.
Yeah. Now, there are stories of players finishing a game on a torn ACL. Like, was it Carson Wentz that did that once? I think there's other examples. So adrenaline can carry you, I know, in some cases. But then once that wears off, then you're really done.
Right. It's rough. All right. The OBJ stuff. What'd you think about it yesterday?
Yeah. He really opened up. He expressed a lot of his feelings, how he felt, and sort of gave the timeline of, there were points in the offseason where he wasn't sure if he was going to come back or not, and then maybe took a little too long. He even said it himself that he maybe did it too late when he had that knee procedure. So obviously that delayed things. But and then as far as starting the season, of course, there was the whole debate over starting the season on PUP or starting to get back into practice. He said at that point what he was fighting for was just to have his training camp at that point, even if he wasn't maybe feeling like he could just full go for games. But, because he can't practice while he's on PUP. So it is telling, though, that right when he comes back, he is full. He is a full participant in practice. It's not like he has to go through limited sessions first. He's already just jumping into full practice participation as soon as he is designated to return. And now we'll see maybe here within 30-40 minutes when Mike McDaniel speaks if the Dolphins will activate him off PUP in a move that could be made tomorrow.
How much are you believing of that? Since, we'll go.
Which part?
We'll go with the first subject. How much of the bullshit you're believing there? Because there's a lot of bullshit going on with the Jalen Phillips thing. How much bullshit are you feeding here? How much are you believing? Because he said, "Oh well, they knew there was a chance I wasn't going to be ready for the beginning of the season." You remember that line he said?
Right.
You believe that?
From which side of it?
From his side.
From his side that he communicated that?
Yeah, like the Dolphins knew that there's a chance he wouldn't be ready for the season. How much do you believe in that? Because I'm not believing a damn thing about that. He was ready. He just had a setback right before. That's all.
Okay,
I don't know. I don't know why he makes all this and all this drama. Well, I got so much going on in my life, and I've been through everything. And, you know, my daughter is growing up and she's 2, and I feel like I'm missing the days of her growing up, and I got to be with her. And I felt like pulling out the violins and all this kind of stuff and everything. And I'm like, dude, just say it. Just say it. You were running fine, and then that surgery you had a little bit of a setback with that knee, okay? And now, you know, you've had a couple of more weeks to get it back, and you're back again. That's all you got to. Not that the Dolphins knew that I wasn't going to be ready, and then all this other drama about, oh, I got so many other things in my life and all. Oh, come on.
Yeah. Now I know you've worked your sources on this story and have been on top of a lot of things regarding.
No, I'm also old and I can smell bullshit a mile away.
Bro. So this is you just smelling bullshit, not necessarily
not on the. He was ready for the season, and then he had.
Right, I remember you telling me that.
Okay, well, because I said 2 things, right? I said the center would start, and OBJ would play, right? Everybody forgets the center part because the center wasn't practicing either, just like Walker wasn't seen for like 7 years, and then he appears and he starts to play. You know what I'm saying? So he was going to play, just like I reported the center would play too. The center did play. OBJ had the setback. But that's basically what it is. It's not like, well, you know, the Dolphins knew that there was a chance I wouldn't be ready. Bro, you were running fine, man. Give me a break. I mean, it's just... I think there's just too much drama and sensationalism for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you, how much do you believe of that? Because I think there was also didn't he put out a post or something like he really wanted to play at the beginning of the year or something? Remember
I remember him putting out stuff about just proving that he's working out when he was being accused of not working.
I'm with him on that one.
Yeah,
I'm with him on that one. He is working, dude. The dude had a setback. It happens, bro. He's got a knee that's bad. What are you gonna do? You know, that's the game. You know, for him.
Yeah, I will say, and I don't know whether he did or did not, but when someone does have a setback, I feel like there is it won't just get put out there. But yeah, you always hear from McDaniel. Well, someone has had no setbacks, but if you don't hear that, then I feel like maybe there was one, but he would never say it outright.
Right. Yeah. And if you've noticed one thing, they don't like to talk about injuries. They stay away from that shit as much. Yeah, but I mean, you'll get some stuff from other teams, but this team specifically really clamps down on injuries. They really don't like to talk about people's personal shit when it comes to the injury side. And I can understand that.
Right. Which may be one of the things that players like in when the NFLPA poll where the Dolphins ranked number 1 this year as far as how they treat players. That could be something that players are counting on is, well, you know, they don't put my shit out there the way other teams might just openly do, you know, only to the limitations of what they have to report on the injury report, which the NFL mandates for gambling purposes.
Yeah. Speaking of injuries, who plays, who doesn't? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic about like guys like Raheem Mostert and David Long. Obviously, they've missed time, but I know I was talking to David Long this week in the locker room, and he feels like he's ready to go. Now, and obviously, these guys are gamers. Like, you know, sometimes they're out in front of what their true timeline is because they just really want to get out there and fight through anything. But I know Raheem has been trying to for the last couple of weeks, and so I think this has got to be the one where he finally does, and he is able to pull through. I know it hurt David Long not to get to face the Titans, his former team. Jordan Poyer, I would lean. He can't play right now. He hasn't practiced this week on the shin injury. Maybe we hear something different from Mike McDaniel in about half an hour right behind me. But I would lean to say that he probably can't if he hasn't been practicing this week.
So you're going to ask him about any follow-ups on the Phillips stuff?
I'm wondering now. I mean, I had like a series of questions because there's a lot of like little news and nuggets to get to and stuff that I'm writing like about replacing Jalen Phillips on the edge. But this conversation has had me wondering if so and what exactly I would ask if I did. So, I may use a few minutes to debate that internally.
Well, Coach, considering his injury history, and he had a current injury, major injury that he was coming back from, a repaired Achilles. In that first injury with the knee, you really don't know if there's a tear. Why would you take a risk and send a player who has had injury history and recovering from a current injury back in to the game and have to maybe overcompensate, which may have led to this tear? See what he said. See what he said.
I was wondering if you would treat it like, well, I've already answered for that. This is what I've received from the doctors.
That's not what you asked him. You asked him, why would you send somebody back in when you really didn't know if there was a tear at that moment? And with his current injury history, including in that same leg, the Achilles, why would you risk that? And was it worth it? And
I think in that case, and now I'm pretending like I'm playing the role of Mike McDaniel and I'm fielding this question. See, I think he would just go back to, well, we communicate with trainers and doctors, and they basically tell me if he can go or he can't. So the word I received was that you can put him back in the game is what I would imagine. But it would be interesting to see.
In hindsight, Coach, that seemed like a good decision considering the injury history. Follow up. I mean, just follow up. Yeah. I mean,
that he has also sort of answered in just saying you never want to take opportunities away from a player when they want to go back out there. But
no, that's where that he's got to be the adult in the room. He's got to protect the player.
Back to your point on that, correct? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't get away with that, bro. You don't get away with that. It just doesn't seem like it was a responsible move one way or the other after he bangs that knee up to send him back out there with a brace. It just, bro, I don't know. It really just doesn't make any sense. By the way, will they arrest Deion Sanders for child neglect?
For child neglect? Why? For pushing the Dolphins thing?
Yeah, pushing
Shador.
I know Shador's an adult. I understand, but child might say, no, wait a minute. Hold on a second. You're now his coach, and you're sending him. You want him to the Dolphins. We're arresting you for child neglect. I mean, seriously. I mean, I thought Deion was a good father up until this point. I mean, seriously. Come on.
Who would wish that on their child? Huh?
Exactly. Who's wishing? Be coach McDaniel too? Does he want that also? I mean, Shador will end up in a rubber room. The poor kid.
Now,
by the way, you did a shit job of acting like Mike McDaniel there because there was no ums and uhs. So,
and often I do speak that same way too, but you guys give him too much of a hard time on that, man. I mean, the guy, he wants to give good answers. He wants to be thoughtful. I know because I do the same thing sometimes. It's like you start a thought, but then you think of a better way to express how you're saying. So you just pause and he's genuinely trying to give the best answer he can up there. So I always appreciate him for how he answers our questions.
No, he's genuinely trying to craft the right answer. Not really answer the question, but craft the right answer for you guys. That's what
and there's filibustering involved in it. Yes, we know. So.
Yeah, exactly. And he has to kind of think about it. You know what I mean? And it's like, yo, it's year 3, bro. The questions don't change that much. It's, I've been doing it for 34 years. It's kind of a cycle. It all comes back over and over and over again. You know what I mean? It's like, once you've lived it, you live it over. And it's like there's a groundhog effect to it, So I don't know. It's just kind of funny. All right. What do you got going on the Sentinel? So our folks can check you out, my friend.
Yeah, writing the news comes out today, availability for Patriots game for different players, and also just how the Dolphins plan to replace Jalen Phillips. It's going to be tough with a lot of young edge rushers. Emmanuel Ogba is now all of a sudden the leader in your group while you still don't have Bradley Chubb. Rookies Chop Robinson and Mo Kamara, they have to develop rather quickly here. You have Quentin Bell, so a lot of guys need to step up. They just added Tyus Bowser to the roster. So that and yesterday I wrote about Odell Beckham Jr. and how Tyler Snoop Huntley can stand to improve in a second start in this McDaniel offense.
Any truth that they're calling Ogba TT?
Ogba TT, what?
Thunder thighs.
Thunder thighs. Oh. Ryan Crow, outside linebackers coach, he cracked me up on it. He was like, yeah, and then he was in the right place, good hands or good thighs. He was answering the question. So, great play by him. They call him Og a lot now. I don't think they were doing that before. I think they were calling him E-Man before, but I'm hearing Og a lot now. This new coach.
I'm hearing Thunder for short.
All right.
I'm just saying, is it for your play? No, it's for my thighs. I'm just throwing it out there. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ there on Twitter or X or whatever the hell Elon's calling that shit now. And of course, catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Better yet, subscribe. Have a great weekend, my friend. We will talk on postgame.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Thank you.
You got it. The great David Furones, Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
All right. Oh, man. Let me see what we got here. Let's see. Players just might be the worst team ever in short yardage offense. Do they ever? I think they're poorly coached, Brett. I don't think I can judge anything offensively on this team anymore because of Mike McDaniel. I'm just gonna be, brutally honest here. I think Mike McDaniel is just a terrible coach. And I think he has ruined the opportunity that was given to him. And he's too cute. He's too nice. And he is as unorganized as it gets. And so it's a bad look. And just like I keep pointing out with Jalen Phillips, that nobody has pointed out, of course, the decision-making there could not be more irresponsible. Training staff, coaches, it was just the whole thing mismanaged completely, and on top of all of that, they can't prove shit. You don't know if there's a tear, and if there's one, you actually put a brace and set him back in there. You did that with that guy. We're not talking about a guy you just signed off the practice squad or somebody that's, a 7th-round pick that's been floating around your roster for 2 years or something. We're talking about a frontline guy that has stud potential, but he does have to be managed. And put a brace and go back out there? An injury-prone guy. And think about this. Yeah, no, we knew there was a tear, so we put a brace and sent him back out there. Think about that. You're actually going to say that in public? You're going to admit that? So what are you going to admit? Well, we didn't know. He said he felt well, but we weren't sure, so we put a brace and sent him out there. Oh, so you weren't sure if there was a tear or not, so you just put a brace and sent him out there. That's really responsible. So take your pick. Take your pick. Whichever way you want to go. Absolutely irresponsible. Absolutely irresponsible. There's no other way of putting it. Absolutely irresponsible. Disgustingly irresponsible. Okay? Anyway, what do we got here? Steve M. So now McDaniel will be blamed if Tua doesn't win, but McDaniel's going to be here through Tua's 6th year at least. Then Tua's 7th and 8th years will likely be rebuild years. So when Tua lovers be able to evaluate his ability to win big games without excuses. I don't know. Did you watch him? I guess last year was a terrible year. The year before, didn't he beat Baltimore? Didn't he beat Baltimore the year before that? Weren't those big games? Right? Those are some of the big games. I mean, you've won some. You're going to lose others. Why? Because your team's not that good. It's not all about him. You can win some with him. You're not going to win all because you don't have the team. The Kansas City game last year, how many times am I going to mention it? He didn't lose that first Kansas City game. Tyreek lost it. He dropped a perfect bomb that Tua threw to him, and he gave up a fumble that was for a touchdown. He lost the game all by himself there. But again, it's convenient, but it's a team game. But again, just blame it all on the quarterback. There's nothing, the kid wins with stupid flow and can win with this idiot. Doesn't matter. He wins either way. And when you give him everything that he needs, like a regular quarterback, he'll win your national title. So you guys can look at it however the hell you want. If you don't like Tua, that's fine. But I see what I see, and there's just terrible coaching. Nobody. The man had Skylar Thompson with him for 2+ years, and look at him. That was shameful. That was embarrassing what Skylar Thompson did. You've been there that long, and that's how you're going to look, and that's your coach. So, all right, let's take a break. Hour number 2 is next.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt and Rayom can help.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
There's just one place to celebrate our happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Plus last chance savings on a 2024 RDX. $379 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com. So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One is over there where Cutter's Edge Pro. It's not coming out now. Come on. Come on, wind. Give me a little wind. No, unfortunately. But there you go. And this one says Big O here. There you go. So there's my putting green. About, I would say about 25 feet, something like that. I get to practice, have a little fun. See? And then, of course, we got, the bunkers. Got to have the bunkers, man. Got all kinds of bunkers there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a taste of our backyard. There's Maiden right there, Maiden. Bono, how you doing, Bono? Bono. He's a Carolina dog, by the way. These dogs are amazing. Their temperaments are awesome. But there is the Sylvester Palm, which is just beautiful. All right, call my guys, Will and Mike at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will take care of you. Dogs are not included, okay? Can't include the dogs. Those are mine. But the exceptional work, oh, baby. Oh, baby. Yes. Make your home an oasis. CuttersEdgePro.com. Go to their Instagram page, by the way, so you can see a lot of the before and after work that they do. And it is exceptional, baby. This thing's been on here for about 9 months. No grass growing through it or anything like that. Right, Bono? Huh? Bono!
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Yes. Our numero dos on the program. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. As always, please smash that like button as you can every time. And any of the segments that you watch, please smash it. And the like button too. And by the way, Cutter's Edge Pro. Yes, sir. William Quigley and the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro, proud sponsors of our program, and we love them. They do a great job. Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, they're all over the place. They're like Sagua Fair. They are everywhere. They do full landscape design. They can work with you. They can work with your contractors. They can work with your architect, your pool contractors, all of that. They do it as professional as it gets. And You saw that during the break there, I showed you the dogs and the artificial turf, and it's been well over 2 years now that the artificial turf has been there. Not one blade of grass ever went through it, which is absolutely amazing. I told you about a buddy of mine that didn't call Cutter's Edge Pro because he wanted to cut corners, and he thought he was going to get cute saving money, and grass started growing right through his artificial turf because they didn't install it right, and now I think he's in the middle. He's still in the lawsuit. You know. Lo barato sale caro. That's what they tell you. You know, you can think it's cheap, but then it ends up becoming expensive. So just do it the right way the first time. And by the way, maintenance, Cutter's Edge is great at maintenance. And of course, taking it to the next level. So if your business, your home, your HOA complex, remember the value of your home grows with landscaping. Okay. And I got to do an update of our backyard because I was just looking at it. I was going, man, the trees have grown so much more for where they're at now. And of course, it's been over 2 years. So I got to give you the update so you can see, as it looks absolutely amazing. So call my friends at Cutter's Edge Pro, Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach counties. Tree trimming, removals, landscape design, outdoor lighting, irrigation design and build, synthetic turf. And I always tell you about this. The more trees you have around your home, okay, the cooler your home will be. And the more trees you put in your backyard and you have more shade, you can actually hang out in your backyard because it'll be 10, 15 degrees cooler. That Sylvester palm I have in our backyard just covers so much. It is truly amazing. So that's why I'm telling you that it helps. And I told you about a piece I saw, a couple that they have trees going all around their homes, around their home. And because of that, the trees are absorbing the heat and the home doesn't. So their AC works less. And because they have so much trees around their home, they can open up the windows and have fresh air come in because it's not just pure heat because of the trees actually lowering the temperature. So green wise, literally, it helps you in many different ways. You know what I'm saying? Not only does it make your home, your business look better, it increases the value, but also it can save you energy, man. It's beautiful. You can't lose. Call Cutter's Edge Pro. Expect excellence. They get it done. All right. Big O, spoiler alert, saw the new Joker movie, and it's more like a musical than a regular movie, in my opinion. It's not as good as the first one. All right. Okay. I wasn't racing out to the movies I'm superheroed out already. I've been superheroed out for a while now. It's just way too many. And, you know, I saw that I went because of my daughter, but she wanted to go see, was it Wolverine and Deadpool, Wolverine, whatever the hell it was. And I didn't enjoy it. It was like 4 billion people fighting at the same time. And it was just like, I don't know, it just wasn't. And to me, his sarcasm isn't as funny as some people think it is. So, you know, whatever. Does nothing for me. So I'm kind of superheroed out. How many more different Spider-Mans and Supermans are you going to show me? I'm kind of done already. You know what I mean? So that's my problem with all that shit. You know, I know my daughter she's watching the Penguin series now. Okay. I will say this, as I've walked into the room a couple times, the guy they chose to play the Penguin, they chose a perfect dude. And the makeup, they just did. I'll give them that. You know what I mean? But I'm kind of superheroed out. You know? It doesn't really get me excited, all of these different superhero movies and stuff like that. We need to bring in a GM from Tampa into the Dolphins. Okay. There's only one good Joker, and that's Heath Ledger. Yep. Let's see. I've been watching the old show Reacher on Amazon. Oh, yeah. I saw Reacher. Reacher's good. And in the first season, The blonde little officer, she's underrated, bro. She's like an underrated hottie, you know? Got to give her credit. She's an underrated hottie. And Reacher is funny. Yeah. Reacher's sarcasm, I enjoy his sarcasm better, actually. So yeah, I'm with you there. Chase says, yeah, he's a badass. So yeah, she's a cutie also. Yeah, she's like, at first when you see her, she just looks like a regular girl, right? But then when you really, as the series develops and you get to see the whole package, you're like, okay. You're like, yeah. You know, got to give props to props. Tua Time says, Big R, you taking the Canes minus 10.5 this week? No, I'm actually going with the under 54. I'm expecting a low-scoring defensive type game, so I'm going under 54. That's the bet this week, under 54. So we'll see. We're 4-1. We lost last week for the first time. So is this like we peaked and now we're on the downslide? So yes, under 54 for the game this week. Let's see what happens, and we shall find out. Why don't we get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar? The great Alan Blanco. 786-618-1443, custom printing and embroidery. Last night, one hell of a game, dude. That was a really fun game to watch. I really enjoyed it. Falcons beat the Bucks 36-30. I kept looking at Baker going, Tua can do all this shit. Just play like that, dude. Just play like that. Anyway, Cousins was 42 of 58, 509 yards, 4 touchdowns, and interception. Baker threw 180 yards with 3 touchdowns in the process. And the kid Hodge obviously had split the defense right up the middle. And that was a beautiful play for the game-winning touchdown. Hell of a win for the Falcons. I think their 3 victories are all either game-deciding plays in the fourth quarter or overtime or something like that. I think I read somewhere. It's crazy shit. You can't live like that. But hey, right now, they'll take it, I'm sure. Saturday, 10:30, UM visits Cal. See if they can climb up in the rankings with a win there on the road in Cal. They are favored by 10.5. Over and under is 54. 10:30 is the kick. And then on Sunday, 1 o'clock, we'll start at 11 with the pregame show. Patriots and Dolphins. Pats favored by 1. Over and under is 36.5. That is. Oh, and one more thing. Jalen Phillips was placed on the IR by the Miami Dolphins. Tyus Bowser, linebacker, signed off of the Seattle practice squad, did play with the Ravens in the past, so was drafted by the Ravens, so knows the system, has familiarity in that system, so he was signed to the 53-man roster. He is now a Miami Dolphin. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. Yes, the makeup on Colin Farrell. Yes, it was awesome. Guardians of the Galaxy are all 3 great movies. Okay, I don't know. That's now we're going into a whole other conversation. Let's see. Oh, I made a purchase of 2 T-shirts. I'll look it up. My man. I'll look it up and I'll send you an email. Funny how AEW fans like AEW because they hated WWE, and now the roster is 80% former WWE talent, and they're doing the same angles like the Hurt Business. Tony is so trash. Is that a good breakdown right there, Sean? Did Tua Time break down AEW the right way? Because I don't know. That sounds like something that Frankie Fresco may not enjoy.
No, I mean, it's accurate. They're bringing in a lot of the former WWE guys, but they're doing some things differently. And they just got a new TV rights deal, so all is not bad in AEW. And Saturday on the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel, me and Frankie Fresco, before the Bad Blood pay-per-view, will be on. So stand by, go to the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, check us out then.
Why don't you put the link on the chat board? Why don't you do that, bro? Can you do that? Maybe they can, like...
You can't put the link on the chats.
Huh?
Can't put the link on the chat.
You can't?
No. They don't let you put the websites and stuff on there. Unless it's changed. I mean, I know they've done some updates, but I haven't seen any posting because then they get spammed.
Yeah, you slackers. Let's go. Go support Sean, man. All right? And go hit some likes there, too, and watch. Especially if you're a wrestling fan. All right, what else do we have? Oh, FIU, baby. FIU. Did you see that, Sean? FIU sporting the unis. The Vice U unis. How about that?
I thought you were going to talk about their new TV analyst for soccer.
Who is the new analyst for soccer? I have no idea.
Alex Solana.
Solana is doing good for him, bro. Good for him. Good for him. He's got to deal with that trash ass station and work there. So yeah, good for him. Good for him. And he's falling in line with the Heat and stuff. So it's he's doing good for himself. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. So he's doing football. So there you go. Those are the new FIU unis, the Vice U unis, an extra uniform. And they did a whole thingamajig all around town and on the bay and on boats, taking pictures. And the one thing that comes from all of this, and everybody knows, obviously, Miami Vice, right? But the everlasting impact of Miami Vice. Everybody, adds some kind of Vice. They're all adding Vice type style uniforms to their collections, to their teams, right? Vice style type things are part of promotions all over the place at times, when they use the Art Deco colors and things like that. But it's interesting that Miami Vice picked up an art that was already established in Miami Beach back in the 50s, 40s, 50s, right? I think it was. And then they took it to fashion, and they took it to the big screen, to television and all that, and took it to another level. And then on top of all of that, the font, as you can see, Vice U, is obviously dedicated to the font of Miami Vice, So it's cool how, especially those of us that lived the era of the 80s and when the rise of South Beach again, because when I was a child in the 70s, it was a place where old people were at. It was crack dens and not crack dens, but whatever they were back in those days, what's called abandoned buildings. It was just like, it was seedy, Miami Beach wasn't a good place in the 70s, in the early 80s. And then all of a sudden it got the Renaissance, and Miami Vice came in and all that. And it really then ignited, Miami, and it gave us, even though it was kind of not good, but it was good because, the glamour stuck with us. You know what I mean? We did have some of the crime, of course, but the glamour did stick with us, and it's been with us ever since. And it's pretty cool that the fashion that Miami Vice established back in the early 80s is still here to this day. It's pretty cool. The everlasting effect of Miami Vice. Michael Mann should be very proud of what he did and what he created here with Miami Vice. Pretty freaking cool. Pretty freaking cool. Nice job by FIU. I just, I just would love to see FIU and FAU have, serious success would be nice. So, yes, Heat Vice. Yes, we know. Heat Vice. Anyway, so good shit. Good shit. Got to give them props. Let's see. All right, let's before we get back to sports, let's switch gears a little bit. And let's get into a little crypto talk. Let's get into our Crypto Bro Show episode number 3.
The Crypto Bro Show is solely for entertainment purposes. Orlando Alzagari and his guests are not financial advisors or investments consultants. If you ever plan to invest, make sure you do your homework, talk to a professional, and understand investing is very risky and volatile. Good luck in any of your investments, and only invest what you're willing to lose.
The Crypto Bro Show is brought to you by RM Contractors and Custom Drywall. From complete makeovers for homes or condos to impact windows and doors to drywall with level 5 finish. Call Ray or Mike at RM Contractors and Custom Drywall. 305-345-3649. You dream it, they'll build it. See their exceptional work on Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Crypto Bros.
Follow Big O for more crypto insight on X or Twitter at Big O Show.
All righty. Yes, sir. We start off. Let's check the Bitcoin chart. Obviously, in the Bitcoin price right now, currently, we are at 61,543. As you can see, we were all the way down to 60,158. And this was at 1 p.m. yesterday. So nearly 24 hours later, we are about $1,400 over that. Now, we've gone a little higher. We were at 61,836. So we were about 300 higher. But again, this comes off of the jobs report. And I think basically right now what you got was a positive report from the jobs because 254,000 jobs were added. They expected 147,000. So they added more than what they expected, which is pretty good. The rate now is at 4.1%. It was at 4.2%, the unemployment rate. Now, that's a great thing for the economy because obviously it proves that there's a lot of jobs. But for rate cuts, we were talking about maybe a 0.5 point cut in November. Maybe not. Maybe they only go with a 0.25 point because usually the feds like to see the unemployment numbers go up, not down. And if they go down, that means the economy is stronger because there's a lot of jobs out there. And so it's great for the economy. It's going to give the markets a little bit of a boost. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, it could be a little bit of a detriment if the feds want to slow down the rate at which they cut rates. So maybe they only go a 0.25 point in November instead of 0.5 point. I'm not saying that that's a sure thing. I'm just saying there's a chance now. Okay? Because strong economies don't usually lead to that kind of stuff. It's usually they love to see volatility and bad in the economy, and then that's what's the indicator where it needs to get juiced. But right now, it doesn't look it. And by the way, since the media doesn't really report this kind of stuff, because they only ride on – remember when they had that jobs correction that it was 1 million less jobs, which is – the good thing is that they corrected it to the real number. But, they did that like 15 years ago. And you wonder, you wonder how they are, and it's not the government, it's I forgot the entity that does it now, but they actually now revised August, where it was 142,000 jobs, it's now 159,000 jobs. So in August, it was 142,000 new jobs. No, it was 159,000. So they adjusted it higher. Okay, so it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is it may affect rate cuts. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's a sure thing, but it may, just may, affect rate cuts. I hope it doesn't. I hope it goes 0.5% because there's a lot of people paying credit cards, and every one of us would like to pay a little lower that monthly rate that you're paying. All right, this is some funny news. The IMF, the International Money Fund, has urged El Salvador to limit its scope of Bitcoin law. And it's funny because when you listen to the woman from the IMF in the press conference, she literally talks about like she wants to limit what they can do. And, that's some communist crap. El Salvador is, their GDP has gone up. Tourism is through the roof for them. Companies are moving there. Let's see. Google, Nestle, Unilever, PriceSmart, TELUS International, Industrial La Constancia. Must be a big company in Spanish. I don't know it, here. Turkey's YI port put in $1.6 billion to put into their ports. A new Bitcoin mining firm named Ocean has moved over, and many others. I'm not going to get into it, but I'm just giving you a list of some. Billions of dollars are being poured into El Salvador because the man straightened out the country. He got rid of all the crime. 90% of the crime is gone, like 98 or something. It's something stupid. The murder rate they went from the murder capital of the world to now like one of the safest places in the world. Okay. They're all getting more and more jobs because companies are moving in. And what Bukele does with them is he tells them, you've got to hire and train my people. Okay. I understand you got to bring some of your own because obviously it's a business that's established, but you've got to train our own. And so Salvadorians they're being trained in Bitcoin, all that. And IMF wants them to slow down. The IMF because the IMF is tied with money and tied with the banks internationally all over the world. The International Money Fund, they're like the governing body of banking internationally. Okay. And so they have like guns to everybody's head because you've got to get their approval to get money sometimes for your country. And if your country's desperate and needs it and all that, then that's what they want. They want you to be dependent. That's why these kind of stimulus checks and all this, that's all bullshit, dude. That stuff is not good. That's not how you want to raise an economy and how you want people to be living off handoffs, bro. You got to raise an economy that can sustain itself. And that's what El Salvador is doing. They're using their volcanic power to mine Bitcoin. Their credit rating has gone through the roof. I believe it's as high as ours, I think, as the U.S. And it was like 3-4 notches under us. And we went down a notch. And they've gone up a few. So, it just everything they're doing is, and so the IMF wants to stop them. And obviously Bukele's telling them to go screw themselves. And here's the best part. Let me see if I can. So IMF tells them to tone it down, right? So then what's Bukele's answer to all of it? Juan Carlos Reyes, president of the National Commission of Digital Assets, announced that the Central American country lawmakers have passed important amendments to the CNAD law. And according to these changes, there we go. It will grant authority to regulate Bitcoin companies in the country. Further, the CNAD will now be primarily regulatorily body overseeing the nation's Bitcoin industry. It will also implement a risk-based regulatory framework to position El Salvador as a global digital asset adoption and regulation leader. Our team will combine regulatory knowledge with practical Bitcoin experience, ensuring a balanced and effective approach. This is El Salvador. Okay? We're eating shit here, and this is El Salvador. Only Bitcoin can an individual ever self-custody their wallet, self-custody their wealth and property. Capital will never form upon chains designed for velocity rather than sovereignty. What IMF has recommended is narrowing the scope of Bitcoin law, strengthening the regulatory framework and oversight of Bitcoin ecosystem, and limiting the public sector exposure to Bitcoin, which is what Democrats have done. So he gave him a big FU, and way to go, Bukele, because your country's way better off than where it was, bro. That's all I know. Your people are way better off than where they were. So congratulations to you and everything that you're doing. Problem is that not enough people are educated at all the stuff that Bukele is doing to better that country. So, they're headed in the right direction. That's all I'll tell you. All right. Now, the other thing that I love showing is the fear and greed chart. And it's funny because it's not at a great place right now, the fear and greed chart. I know there's a little bit of a pump, but right now it's at 41. And people see this and they watch this. And I got to tell you something. I laugh at this most of the time. Am I laughing at this when we're in the pandemic? No, of course not. Because there's a reason. Right now, I don't have a reason. I know the markets are going to pump because I'm watching all the countries around the world print money. They're all lowering rates. This is enormous for economies. This is enormous for investments and risk assets. I know all of this is coming. I see it. I talk about it every day with you guys. And now that we've created this segment within it, now I can, focus totally on it and kind of explain a little bit more thorough on what's going on and what's developing. And we can give you, the proof and all of that. So for me, usually the fear and greed index, I believe, is not led by true investors. I believe it's led by retail that are more FOMO folks, people that just, they flow with the wind. They listen to MSNBC and Fox and CNBC and ABC and all that kind of stuff, and they're just fed corporate crap that they got to give to you because it's all politicized to favor whatever relationships they have within their big conglomerates. Okay? Which I know most of you don't want to believe that kind of stuff, but that's what goes on. You know what I'm saying? So to me, the fear and greed index is not led by real investors. Real investors, I think it would be a lot higher and you'd be way more in the green, because those of us that kind of understand what's going on these dips, we're taking advantage of them. We're not running away from them. We're not selling. Remember what I told you yesterday, right? Go watch the other episodes so you can piece them together and everything. But we told you yesterday about the short-term and the long-term investors and who's selling and what and how much and all that. And we explained to you that it was the short-term investors, right? So, if you want to, you can go back and listen to that one so you can piece it all together. But to me, those short-term investors are the idiots that part of the fear and greed index. That's how I feel. Anyway, what else do we have here? This is amazing. The CME Group. Okay, for those of you that don't know who the CME Group is, it's the world's biggest derivatives market. Okay, they're going to launch a physical Bitcoin product. Okay, this is enormous because it just continues to absolutely grow. And so listen to this. Okay. The world's leading and most diverse derivatives marketplace handles 3 billion in contracts annually, on average worth approximately 1 quadrillion. That's the CME Group. And remember, I kept telling you yesterday, the wirehouses and USB and Stanley Morgan and all these people, that once they start, and they're already now starting to open the door to get into Bitcoin, this is going to get crazy because they manage trillions. So once all these wirehouses get on board, it's over. and the price is going to explode. And everything I've been talking about for nearly 5 years now, because in January it will be 5 years that I've been in Bitcoin, late December. Like, remember right after Christmas, I think I bought my first Bitcoin, almost 5 years ago. And this is, I would have never imagined that 5 years ago. This is just absolutely crazy. CME Group doing this. Not the CMB, not the Cash Money Brothers. No, CME. 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 Am I my brother's keeper? Only yours truly, okay, gets a New Jack City reference inside a crypto segment, okay? Just want you to know that. Now, more information to educate you all. Rising geopolitical tensions and the coming U.S. elections are likely to reinforce what some investors call the debasement trade. I think somebody's been telling you that they print a lot of money and they devalue our money. I don't know. Somebody's been telling you about that. Anyway, thus favoring both gold and Bitcoin, says JP Morgan's Nicolas Panigrutskolu, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He's obviously a very powerful and very rich man. So debasement of currencies all over the world, people go into gold and Bitcoin. Just telling you. PayPal, by the way, has now completed its first PYUSD business transaction, paying Ernst & Young to showcase stablecoin use for seamless B2B payments. So this is huge because this is PayPal on the blockchain showing how you can move crypto one way or the other. And so now, whether it's Ernst & Young and many others are going to be able to be doing the same thing through PayPal and business transactions. Okay. Japan's MetaPlanet, they continue to follow MicroStrategy's plan. They earned 23.97 Bitcoin today, 1.46 million by selling out options. And now they have a total of 530 Bitcoin, 530.7, because I would love to have 0.7 myself, for 32.4 million. Okay. Can't leave out a 0.7 of a Bitcoin. That's a lot of Bitcoin right there, bro. I know 530 is awesome, but just give me 0.7. I'd be ecstatic. But anyway, so that shows you companies, countries, businesses, they're all moving in that direction. Where are you going? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just asking. Grayscale has launched a Grayscale Aave Trust for accredited investors, providing exposure to Aave's governance token, leveraging smart contracts to optimize DeFi lending. And Aave is enormous in DeFi. So those of you that invest in Aave, this is absolutely enormous for you guys. Again, part of the I told you guys about 5 years ago, and I've repeated it over and over. What they're doing with the blockchain is they're constructing the financial world right under your nose. The future of the financial world and institutions will all be working on the blockchain. And I told you this 5 years ago, that banks would be shutting down and all that kind of stuff, and it's already happened. Obviously, many banks have shut down, and many more will shut down. We'll be down to like 5 or 6 banks. There's going to be a consolidation. Small and medium-sized banks are going to go by the wayside. It's just a matter of time. Banks will continue to fold, and it'll be, and get swallowed up by the bigger banks, and some will just die out. It's going to happen. But this is part of the whole process. And all these businesses will be on the blockchain. And one business will be on Cosmos, and another business will be on Bitcoin, and another business will be on Ethereum, and another business will be on Avalanche, and another business will be on XRP, and, because they're all blockchains. They're all cities on the blockchain. And so they're all going to gravitate to something. Amazon's on Avalanche, I believe. Sony's on Ethereum. It's going there. You know what I mean? It's funny because I remember I don't get it nearly as much because people used to think that crypto was a game or crypto was a joke or crypto was, some kind of a scam or something. And they don't understand that the scams and all that kind of stuff go from the people, the investment firms, the exchanges. That has nothing to do with the crypto itself. It has nothing to do with the blockchain itself. And it certainly has nothing to do with Bitcoin. But that's the problem. There's a lack of understanding and education that they think everything's all the same, and it's not. That's like saying that investing is bad because of Enron. No, Enron was bad, not investing. Just got to have the right people to invest in. Just, have the right people manage your money. It's the same thing. But they don't explain it to you that way. And they leave you in the dark. So, BlackRock is in Brazil. Okay? BlackRock in Brazil making a presentation. This is their presentation. Take a close look at it. Bitcoin through the lens of global monetary alternative. They're in Brazil talking to their investors. Purchasing power of the US dollar has declined significantly over time. They show you 1913 at a dollar. Now, in 2023, it's 3 cents. Remember I told you yesterday, if you had $1 million a year ago, the purchasing power now is 660,000. You lost 340. Remember I told you that if you had one Bitcoin, if you had $1 million in Bitcoin a year ago, Bitcoin is up 120%, even with the dip of the last 6 months. Up still 120%, you would have 2.2 million right now. Kind of see what's going on? So this is what they're telling their investors. Bitcoin possesses similar characteristics to that of other global monetary alternatives. All right. And then it starts to show all the other stuff there, right? And you start reading market caps and everything going on, and it starts to show the potential of Bitcoin and how it could make up for what's going on in the debasement of currency all throughout the world. This is freaking BlackRock doing this. It's up to you. I mean, you're going to allow them to buy it all? You're going to allow them to keep it all? You're going to allow ARK Investments and Grayscale and Fidelity and all these people and all the rich people to buy up all the Bitcoin and send it to prices that none of us will ever be able to afford? You're still in the buying zone, in a sweet ass buying zone. Not a financial advisor. Now, we've talked about, finally, this is kind of an interesting one. Right now, Bitcoin's at 61,724. So now it's climbed back up again. It's making a move back up to where it was at 61.8. We'll see what happens. But CryptoCon on Twitter put out a very interesting graphic. And I got to show it to you because it shows all the halving cycles. And back in the first halving cycle in 2012, right, 4 years in, on November 28th, right, it is? Right, November 28th. And he circles it here, okay? See where my cursor is right here, okay? He circles it right here, okay? And all of a sudden, after that date, we had just an absolute moonshot. There was obviously some movement up before it, but the real parabolic movement after November 28th. On the second cycle in 2016, he points out that again on November 28th, we had an up leading up to it, okay? And then the parabolic move. It's interesting. And then on the third cycle that we've had on November 28th, it was already going up, but then we had a double top. after that. Like it was going up, but here's the parabolic move. Now, November 28 is over here where he shows. This is the part where he thinks we are going to make the parabolic move. I got it. There's two ways of looking at this for me. This is the way I've looked at it, like I've looked at everything so far, and I will not stop looking at it. If he's right and we don't move to 80,000, like a lot of people think we might be at by the end of this month, 75, 80,000 easily. If that's the case, that it's not till late November that the real parabolic, it gives you time to accumulate. It gives me time to accumulate. Okay. Remember, our target, us normal human beings, is to get to 20 to 25% of a Bitcoin. Okay. We're not rich people. Rich people, they can get a full and all that kind of stuff. But the rest of us, okay, working stiffs and all that, we can put $5 here, $10 aside, $50 a month, $100 a month, whatever. You got to get there. That's kind of your, because that's going to turn into serious money. But I got to say, this is an interesting cycle and an interesting graph that CryptoCon comes up with. Whether it turns out to be true or not, I don't know. But it's kind of interesting. There you go. All right. That is this edition of the Crypto Bro Show. And it's brought to you, of course, by the great people there at R&M Contractors and Custom Drywall. Call Ray or Mike, man. Give them a ring. Complete remodel, kitchen upgrades with appliances, waterproofing for your terrace, balcony, flood test report. That is so important nowadays. Impact windows, door installations. They do it all, man. Bathroom upgrades. They work in condos, homes, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach. They will get it done for you, folks. High rise, custom homes. They can help you out either way. Call Ray or Mike right now. They will definitely help you out. 305-345-3649. That's 305-345-3649 for R&M Contractors and Custom Drywall, and tell them that Big O sent you.
The Crypto Bro Show is brought to you by RM Contractors and Custom Drywall. From complete makeovers for homes or condos to impact windows and doors to drywall with level 5 finish. Call Ray or Mike at RM Contractors and Custom Drywall. 305-345-3649. You dream it, they'll build it. See their exceptional work on Instagram at RMC Fisher Island. Crypto Bros. Follow Big O for more crypto insight on X or Twitter at Big O Show.
Right. Yes. So the OBJ situation. He addressed the media yesterday, and I'm not gonna play a sound bites or whatever. And he kind of made it sound like the Dolphins knew that there might be a chance he won't be ready, and this and that, and and listen, to me, it's not a big deal, But I'll put it simply. He was on pace to start. And then he had a setback with his knee. And that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Frustrations for him, frustrations for the team. Shit happens. It is what it is. But he was fine. Why do you think they didn't put him initially on the PUP? Well, we need a couple of days. Because they didn't know yet after when the setback happened at that moment. So he has a setback, and then, but that's why it's not like, the Dolphins thought he was going to play. Mike McDaniel thought he would be ready for week 1. Who are we kidding here, man? It's not a big deal. And I did trip out with all his drama about, I got so many things going on in my life and this now. Come on, bro. Everybody's got things going on in their lives, bro. Everybody's got family. They got friends. They got businesses. Everybody does. It's like you're the only guy, And then I love the whole drama. I've been through so much. Yeah. So has everybody else, bro. I it's like, do you want me to cry you a river here? Or do you pull out the violins? And I mean, like, whoa, bro. Just you're here to catch some passes. Try to catch some passes. If you have a quarterback that can get you the ball. Okay. That's all I can say. But, you had a setback, and that's it. It's over. Done. That's it. Move on. It happens. It was nothing irresponsible, unlike what happened with Jalen Phillips. That, my friends, was irresponsible. Jalen Phillips placed on the IR yesterday. They signed Tyus Bowser to the active roster from Seattle. Drafted by the Ravens, knows the system, so he has some familiarity with what Weaver's trying to do. That kind of helps in his transition. What else? Props to Omar Kelly. Nice job on the honesty of what's going on with Tyreek Hill. That was good job by because it figures I thought I was the only one that actually had the balls to, call him out for all the phoniness. Steve, Hateful Steve, thank you for the love on Venmo again. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Steve M says, I'm not arguing McDaniel is terrible or even that Tua's holding back. What I want to avoid is being in Tua's 9th or 10th year and people saying that we still haven't fairly evaluated him because he's never had the right environment. Yeah, no, I get it. I don't think it'll ever get to that because Steve, nobody's a bigger believer of Tua than I am. Okay? Do you think the way he plays, he's going to make it through another year? No. So you won't have to worry about that because he'll do something stupid to injure himself because that's what he does. He did it for 1 year, but he proved that he doesn't have the discipline. Somehow or another, he thinks he's a hero. He thinks he can put on a cape and do things that very few people can ever do. And he doesn't realize that he's Drew Brees or Baker Mayfield or whatever. You're just a short quarterback that isn't a great athlete, but you're a terrific passer, bro. That's all you need to do. And after that, you don't do anything else. But guess what? That's more than enough for your team to win. And if everybody else does their job, you'll be fine. You'll be a star. You might be even in the Hall of Fame, like Drew Brees. But, you need everybody else to do their job too. That's all. He's no different than any of those guys. Any of those immobile quarterbacks, but he doesn't get that. So I don't think you'll have to worry about in year 9 or 10 because he hasn't shown me that he's smart enough to get there. I hate to say it that way, but that's the only way I can phrase it because Tua just does really stupid things that hurt his body. And I don't understand that. So I'm not arguing with you on that either. But I'm just trying to tell you, I don't think we'll ever get to year 9 or 10 because he won't allow it. He'll ruin it like he's ruined this season already. He's pretty close to have ruined this season already. Yeah, pretty close. I mean, okay, if he comes back and runs the table, you make in the playoffs, but really, is he going to run the table with that coach? No. And my God, you don't win this Sunday. I know it'll never happen, but I wouldn't allow him in the building ever again. Seriously. I'm very, 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 very disappointed in Mike McDaniel. Very disappointed in Mike McDaniel. Jesus. By the way, no Manny Navarro, because I was asked that. No Manny Navarro, he is going to join us post-game tomorrow. So, yes, we'll be on tomorrow night, late night, post-game. We told you we'd be here once those 3 crappy games were done. We did the Florida one, and then we were going to take 3 weeks off because I'm not doing no post-game for USF and Ball State and Was it FAMU or some shit? But, 3 crappy ass teams. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? But for the rest of the ACC schedule, yeah, we're here, man. We're going to do all the post games. So if you get a chance, please join us. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. We're not even over 100, and there's at least 155 watching. Come on, man. Come on. Let me get to a little music before I get back to sports. Let's get to some birthdays and start with musicians on this date. All right, let's go. Musicians born on this date, October 4th. Oh. John Cicada, born in 1961 on this date. Chris Lowe, keyboardist for the Pet Shop Boys, born in this date in 1959. Jim Fiedler, bassist from Blood, Sweat, and Tears, 1947. And those are, wow, it's a short list of musicians today. Man. Let's see if the birthdays are a little bit better. Rich Homie Quan was born in this date in 89. We lost him in 2024 just recently. Derek Rose is 39 today. Dakota Johnson, movie actress, she is 35. Alicia Silverstone, she is 48 years old. Susan Sarandon, she is 78 years old. Let's see. Liv Schreiber, actor, is 57 years old. Russell Simmons, 67 years old. Who else? Rachel Lee Cook, TV actress. She is 45. And that's it. Those are your other famous folk celebrating a birthday today. Sean Stanley, sir. Any wrestlers on this date?
Yes, for the old school WWE, Chief Jay Strongbow was born on this date in 1928. We lost him in 2012. Abyss, he's born on this date in 1973. Bobby Fulton of the Fantastics, born on this date in 1960. And Linda McMahon was born on this date in 1948. Those are your birthdays for October 4th, 2024.
Well, the Abyss is what the Dolphins have been in for 40 years. We celebrate it every year. We live in the Abyss. Let's go with music history. Let's all find out what happened today in music history on October 4th. Did anything special happen? Well, in 1970, Janis Joplin was discovered dead in Hollywood's Landmark Hotel from an apparent overdose of heroin and alcohol. She was 27 years old. In 1969, Creedence Clearwater Revival started a 4-week run at the top of the album charts with their first #1 record, Green River. In 1996, Van Halen announced that former Extreme singer Gary Cherone would replace Sammy Hagar as the band's new frontman. That didn't work. In 2005, Flyleaf released their self-titled debut album. And in 2013, Nothing Left to Fear, the first motion picture / co-produced, hit selected theaters. Also that day, the guitarist released the soundtrack to the film, which he scored. It included 2 original songs as well. And that's what happened today in music history. All right. So what do we do with Deion Sanders? We need to protect Deion Sanders in a big-time way. That poor man could be getting arrested soon. He suggested on a podcast that Shedeur go to the Dolphins. And I don't know what father in their right mind would want to send their son to the Dolphins. Does it look like we're the place that knows how to handle quarterbacks? He goes, what do you do business-wise if you're the Dolphins? Do you go into the draft and take a quarterback, which is what I'm saying? Or do you say, Tua, let's check this out. Let's see what we're going to do. Is his health more important than that? So you just got the revelation. Deion asked Johnson. And then, and so now you see and you wonder, Deion, you're going to get arrested for child neglect, child abuse. Yes, your son's an adult, but bro, you're sending him to the Dolphins. By the way, I would love Shedeur Sanders. He would be great. But you can't give me Mike McDaniel with Shedeur Sanders because Mike McDaniel's effed up enough people already as it is. Screwed up part is, if you're the Dolphins, you got to draft a quarterback. What do you got, Sean?
I just wanted to come on here because I saw Frankie Fresco in the chat.
Oh,
Frankie Fresco, I accept the $50 bet. The Canes are going to run all over the Cal Bears, and you can count on that.
All right. So what we got here? Prayers to El Tiger. Reggaeton or reggaetonero shot in the head, and lucharero, wrestler for WWE fighting pneumonia, both fighting
Luchasaurus.
for Luchasaurus. Okay. I saw the story about the Cuban reggaeton star because the guy's Cuban. I didn't know that. I saw the story locally. Had no idea because I don't listen to reggaeton. I have no idea. And I don't know what happened. I know he got shot while he was in his car, and that can happen to any of us. Hopefully he wasn't doing anything wrong, but yeah, thoughts and prayers, man. Sucks. And he got shot in the head too. Damn. It's crazy. Scotty, hey Thaler. Wipe out that old Friday hog, my brother. Canes win 40-13. Mendoza and the Bears going to make a Silicon Valley poi poi. And oh, hey, Yankees. Party, hog. There you go. Scotty, hey Thaler. He's back. He is back. And thank you as always. Remember, YouTube does take 30% on the super chats. But Cash App or Venmo, we get 100% of the donations. So we appreciate that if you can. So Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Or you can use those QR codes that you're seeing right there. Bitcoin, by the way, is at 61,700 right now. So it's climbed up a little bit. Let's see if it can pop to 62. I don't know. We'll see if we have a green weekend. Who knows? Well, we thank the great David Furones. He'll be back on Sunday afternoon. He and Chris Perkins will join us post-game, fresh from the locker room in New England. So we'll get the latest from the locker room there. So we thank David. We thank, of course, every one of you that tuned in, everyone that downloads the show and watches it whenever you do, day or night, weekends, holidays, whenever it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for also watching the Crypto Bro Show. Please hit a like on that. Hit a like on this. all that stuff. Get it going. We appreciate it. Be safe out there. We will see you Saturday night, Canes and Cal, and then we'll see you on Sunday morning for Dolphins and Patriots. We'll see you same time, same place, same bat channel. Oh, I shouldn't shake his head too much.
This is the Big O Show.